June may be over, but we do have 8 more hot comic books that need to be discussed.
We're going to break up your barbecue with some comics to celebrate with.
Let's jump into it. We're jumping into it because of CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. They provide us with the Hot 10 Comics list every week, the hottest comic books of the week that we compile on Friday. But you know what? They also have honorable mentions every week. And this is the time of the month where we break that list down. And you know I got the guru here for a reason.
We're going to talk some Golden Age. There's 4 books on here that I wish I own right now. I'm really excited to see on this list and talk about.
All right. Let's jump into this list, but before we do, if you are new to the channel and you like talking comic books, we'd love to have you along for the ride, so hit that subscribe button.
And if you guys are really appreciating what we're doing here, please hit that thumbs up, give us a like. It really helps with analytics here and keeps our channel way up where we want to be and, keep providing content for you guys.
Absolutely. Jeff, we got to start this list off with some gold at number 8.
So really in no particular order, but coming on this list at number 8, like you mentioned, is this magazine is Haunted, number 10.
This is a cool book.
This is a cool book. I dig it. It's by Fawcett Publications. This is actually their first supernatural publication that they've had or do have at that time. And it's this guy who seems to be in a bayou type environment, fishing in a swamp. And, I fish. Okay, and so
I know you fish, by the way.
Yeah, and my son likes to fish, and we'll usually catch and cook what we get.
Sure.
And rarely do we catch and release unless it's too small. This is something where you catch and you release. Okay, this dude is pulled up a head out of a swamp. All right, so let me just clear that up one more time. If you happen to be fishing wherever you are, and a head comes up on your line,
you got to release it, man.
You do not need to keep it. You can release it. Okay, and get the hell out of there.
It's making the list because last month it sold for a pretty staggering amount.
So a 5.5 sold last month for $900, but we also did just see a 6.5 sell for $1,400.
That's big gains.
Yeah, those are pretty decent numbers for a really cool book and a really cool title. Another interesting thing to know with this magazine is Haunted is they had a character named Dr. Death who was the narrator. And they kind of took that from EC, who had their own narrators that we're all familiar with, like the Crypt Keeper, who kind of narrated the story along. Okay, the Vault Keeper they had the Old Witch. So they had these characters they saw success in, and then so they kind of rolled with that too. Let's have somebody push the story along. So it is a really cool run.
I like seeing Precode make the list. What can I say? I also like seeing here at number 7, Brian Michael Bendis making the list. This was interesting. We had last month Pearl number 1 make the honorable mentions list because in issue number 10, in the writers section, Brian Michael Bendis mentioned that there may possibly be option news for this title in the early stages that caused this book to spike. Now, what's interesting, this is the first new character that Brian Michael Bendis created since Jessica Jones. And the artist, Michael Gaydos, is also the artist for this run. Now, what's interesting about this, it's only going for 10 to 15 bucks. It's still only going for 10 to 15 bucks. And you can be looking out for that B variant, lesser print, but you know what? Also going for like 10 bucks. So the variants are affordable. The book is potential to be optioned because we're getting the source from the writer himself because he's putting it in print in his own book.
So we're at number 6 of this list, and I love this book. I've actually never owned this book. I've owned a lot of these books on this list. They've come and gone. This one I've never actually had a chance to own. But Spook 22, which is actually number 1. Okay, this is an LB Cole cover and an obviously strong image and just a tough book in general to find. And we're seeing that because we had a 5.5 sell last year for $950. And now we just saw a 5.5 sell last month for $3,500.
Dang. LB Cole, almost every single honorable mentions that we discuss, there is a surprising sale.
Yeah, LB Cole prices have soared through the roof, okay? In horror and crime, whatever it is. Now, if you want to kind of keep track of that stuff better, there is a guy on Comic Core, James, okay, DS Comics PCH. PCH stands for Precode Horror. He has started a new page.
On Instagram,
PCH Market Watch. And he is systematically, almost daily, keeping track of sales of these books up or down of Precode Horror.
Love it. Thanks for doing that and performing that service to the community. Let's take a look at number 5 on the list because this is a book I really enjoy seeing. We have Dreamwalker number 0. This is one of those books that is considered a true first, one that is respected in the comic book community. We got the first appearance of Goon coming on the list. We got freaking Eric Powell goodness making the list. We had a 9.0 that recently sold for $350. And just a couple years ago, this was a book that would routinely, you'd be lucky to get $300 for this book. What's cool is the Goon has its ebbs and flows. It depends what Eric Powell's doing with the character. And sure enough, whenever he pumps out a new series, whenever there's a Kickstarter, there's renewed interest in the series. And we see these books, these independent comic books, hold their value.
You really do with these books. I mean, I've seen this book in the marketplace plenty. And like you said, it does go up and down.
Absolutely. Whenever I recommend Eric Powell comic books to new readers, it's a win 100% of the time.
Coming in number 4 is Witchcraft number 2. It's an Avon publication. Look, if there's one thing about pre-code horror you need to know, you really just can't go wrong with a skull cover. And this is what we have.
Very true.
Yeah, we have a very strong skull image. It's your classic skull, crossbones. You got the female and the male in the eyeballs with the strong contrasting yellow color. And this is a really strong book in the marketplace. All right? A 3.5 just sold for $1,100 with brittle pages.
It's so funny to see comic books with really brittle pages go for such a astronomical amount. I'm using one of Russ's terms.
Yeah, because brittle pages are a serious defect in comics for a lot of collectors.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we just saw a 3.5 last year go for $675, so that's a huge hike, and that didn't have brittle pages.
Interesting stuff. I like that CBSI is keeping an eye out on these books because it's these types of price hikes that we got to pay attention to. Books are doubling in under 12 months.
It's kind of scary to see how fast these things are going because it's really pricing a lot of people out of the market.
Yeah, the FOMO is real in this market for sure.
It really is. But what's coming in number 3, Tom?
All right, number 3 on the list caused a bunch of waves through the community. Good luck finding these in the dollar bin because they are out there. We got Django and Zorro, issue number 1. Recent news from Quentin Tarantino that this is a book that he wants to bring to the big screen. He wants to bring both of these characters, and this is the comic book rendition that is being speculated on that it would be adapted from. We got artists like Jay Lee making variants on this run that still sell for a pretty good amount. The covers are fantastic, and this number 1 is seeing pretty strong, consistent sales between $10 to $15. It's kind of at a lull a month after the fact, but you know what? As soon as we get any word on this next film, we're going to see this price hike because these are 2 characters that Quentin Tarantino wants to see on the screen. And when Quentin Tarantino wants to see something good happen, he makes it happen and people freak out.
So keep an eye out for Matt Wagner's variant on this.
Absolutely.
So, which is also cool, though, to know that at cons, he doesn't charge for signatures. So this is a great book to bring if you can get it and just have him sign it.
And if you're nice to him, he'll probably do a free sketch for you, too. So it's a good book to bring. All right, number 2 on this list. There is a good story here to this comic book. I am super excited to see this Golden Age classic make the list.
Yeah, this book has actually got more than just a cool cover with the spider webbing in the background and the dynamic colors. It's actually got a historical aspect to it. This is Wanted Comics number 33. So this book has, in the little corner of it, a wanted picture signed for $100 reward for a criminal.
A real criminal.
And this was a real criminal. This criminal, if you look into it, was a bank robber, okay? And it's way more than that. He's convicted. He becomes America's number 1 FBI most wanted. He's found going the wrong direction on a highway, okay? He gets pulled over. A whole shootout occurs between him, his wife, and 2 police officers, okay? An officer goes down. He flees the scene, this criminal, ends up in somebody's house, okay? An ex-Marine of some kind, okay? His gun doesn't fire, all right? And then it becomes kind of a hand-to-hand combat situation. Now, this story has a lot of details if you really want to get into it, but we got only the short video cast to do it. But in short, this Marine was able to choke out this criminal, okay? Call the police and have them come get him. And he was executed 1 year later from this book.
This is a legit thing that happened, and this book came out in the 40s, well before he was ever captured. This is pretty interesting stuff.
So let's just get back to the book itself now. A 9.2 sold this week for $2,100.
That's a lot.
But it only guides for $310. So like we see huge discrepancies here, obviously in pricing and what market is it dictating. And people love spiderweb covers. Starling Terror Tales number 11, classic. Everyone loves that cover. They love that spider feel. It's creepy to a lot of people. So it's really a huge effect, and there are a lot of spider covers out there to get into.
Combined with this historical record, it makes sense that Overstreet has it underpriced because who knows what the market will dictate.
I also want to take a quick second to plug Stray Flexen, who tagged me on an Adventure Comics number 37 that he just got.
Freaking cool book, dude.
Yeah, classic cover. It's got a big hippo and some hunter rifleman. It's a cool cover, total classic.
We appreciate those Instagram tags, just like I appreciate this member of the community, William Wilson, who won last week's giveaway of this Walking Dead issue number 192. All right, the final comic book on this list. I want to know from the comic book community what you think about Batman Damned issue number 1. Yes, it's making the list again. And you know what? When we were reporting on this book, people scoffed for saying that this book was hitting prices at $100. It dropped to $80 within the first few months. We actually saw it trending at a low, $20 to $30 at some point, like 6 months ago. I think the main reason why we're seeing this book hike back up to $100 again is because there was a long wait for issue number 3 of Batman Damned, and it just came out. So now that people have picked up number 3, they're going back to complete their run. They're happy with the story. The art's fantastic. And you know what? Regardless, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Anytime mainstream media picks up anything and publishes it about comic books or the comic book market, the industry, that book is going to have this added layer of fanzine.
Yeah, I like what you said there about the fanzine, because this is also a magazine size book, and it's not easy to store for everybody. You know, you're going to find them damaged, I think, down the road as people are shoving them in a box potentially.
Yeah, or reading them because it's a good book.
It's going to be read because we all know what the interior holds, so people are going to want to take a peek.
That's right. Just like they should be taking a peek at this giveaway we have. We want to know your thoughts about Batman Damned making the list. It's back up to $100. Do you think this book is worth it? Is this something you're going to be keeping in your collection long term? We want to know in the comment section below. And we got some gold to send out.
Oh, yes, guys. We got some Lone Ranger number 15. A Golden Age book that's going to go out to you guys. Just go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment below so we can enter you in to win this great book.
That's right. This Walking Dead was a giveaway we announced a month ago. We are giving out so many giveaways. It's getting tough to track, but we're doing it. Thanks so much, Comic Fan, for being here today. Shout out to CBSI comicbookinvest.com for always providing such great insight, great information to the comic book community. And as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Hey, Comic Fam, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con this week, so if you are at the convention, go check out the comic book section. I'm going to be digging through long boxes, looking for comic books to put in the mystery mail call, and you can come say hi. Oh, and speaking of which, it's the 15th. It's the last day for you to join the mystery mail call and reserve your July box. Link is in the bio to join the community, or you can just go to comictom101.com. Got that new website up and it's looking fresh.